Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the very practical convo I had with Jason Frizzell in our last episode. I'm sure he's going to hate that we said that. But it was so practical. If you haven't yet listened to that interview, feel free to pause this now, go back and listen to that one, and then come back and join us. Just because it's practical doesn't mean it's not freaking fun and awesome.
Doesn't mean it's not full of woo, Jason.
Woo, yeah. Jason and I have been coordinating back and forth on I'm going to be on his podcast, and he wants you on his podcast, by the way. That's me telling you. So
lovely.
You should probably book
surprise. That. Can't wait.
I know. I think the two of you are going to just have too much fun. So anyways, he might
We're
be
both woo. So like we could talk for like 10 hours.
You both also want to do the Star Wars thing in Florida together.
Oh, yes.
Like,
yes,
yeah,
we do.
It's like a blind date, but you're going. Anyways, y'all have been coming back to us saying how much you are enjoying the webinar I did on your gemstones and you're scheduling your business life around your actual life priorities. And some of you are using our new scheduling tool.
Yeah.
Already. Hello, way to take action. Talk about be it till you see it. So yes, we do have a scheduling tool. Brad, do you want to tell them?
I certainly do. It's we did a partnership with another company that did all the software of this, and we had a chance to really dig into the tool before we made the decision with them, because we have gone through many scheduling software tools over the years.
Oh my God. Do you remember that time we did
scheduling.
2 different ones in 1 week?
Yeah, we started one and then like went go and then realized like, oh shit,
like I think
this is not going to work for us.
I think you talked to like one of the founders, like, I love this company. This guy is great.
No, I talked to one of their head of like customer support, and I had like an hour-long call, and I got in there and I asked all the questions. I made all the notes. I was like, we need to do this, need to do this, need to do this. And there was like one thing that was like, yeah, it does, sort of does this. And what we realized at the end of it was it fucking has to do that. And we didn't realize that was like a hard no, and we should have hit no. Anyway, yeah, that was a bummer. But, you know, lovely people, and I love what they were standing for and doing. But we are very excited about what we've been able to partner with and roll out there. So if you are interested in, first off, basically, we've got an opportunity for you to learn how Lesley prioritizes her schedule. We've got a free webinar for you to take, and you will get to that webinar by going to profitablepilates.com/gemstones.
And that'll make sense when you get there. When
it's
you watch
all
the
tools. It's kind of the method behind how she creates her ideal schedule, and then at the end of it, we talk about the scheduling tool itself.
Yeah, so you can dive into both. At least take away an amazing schedule, and maybe even sign yourself up for a tool that actually works. Okay, but Brad, do we have an audience question to respond to?
We did, as you may know, we have Full Body in 15 coming up. That's for onlinepilatesclasses.com, and that is going to be for it's a 7-day free program to get a full body workout in 15 minutes, and we're going to, over the course of a week, teach you everything about that. And the question was, do I have to know Pilates to participate in this Pilates program?
And like, that's a great question.
Yeah.
So I actually designed it for the person who's like been afraid to try it, been curious but doubtful to try it, and tried it and thought, okay, but like didn't get it. And I know that sounds like a lot of people, but it is. And that's on purpose.
Sure.
But that really is, if you've just heard the word Pilates, which you have if you're here, I want you in this, because what I have found in my own experience for myself learning Pilates and then also just teaching is that, like, first of all, always the classes are like an hour, and like who has an extra hour to learn something new? Also, Pilates, like anything, takes time to get the benefits, but it doesn't mean a quantity of minutes in one shot. It means like it means quality of movement.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, I actually know that I can get you the same benefits of Pilates if you do a 15-minute workout. And if you're new, that's all you need. And so I'd rather you have this 15-minute workout that you do several times a week to get the benefits of Pilates, and then dive into more time or more equipment or more options.
Well, when I was first starting yoga,
those are 90-minute classes.
No, when I was first starting, no, this is years before I met you. Years. Oh. The very first time I took a yoga class, my mom had always said, you should try yoga. It'll help. You're stretchy. It'll be good for you. I was like, sure, whatever. So I got like a Groupon for yoga, a local yoga studio down the street. And I hurt myself so badly in one class that I couldn't ride my motorcycle home.
Oh my gosh.
Because my body was like screaming at me. My back was out. Everything was wrong. And I had to sit there and I had to wait for like an hour just to like, for my whole system to settle down before I could ride home.
That's crazy.
That was the last time I did yoga for years. Because I was like, well, yoga's clearly not for me. Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, I was a very athletic person at the time, and I mean I still am, but I was very much then, and I happened to be very flexible, and I was effectively mimicking the instructor, doing all the things, yet using all the wrong muscles, relying on my blah 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 blah. Anyway, my first experience doing yoga was terrible. And that's because I actually had no instruction. There was simply, okay, here's the move, do it. And I was like, hey, this is all technical terms right there.
If you're watching the YouTube, you just saw him do the technical.
It was me doing the robot. Yeah. Anyway, that is the worst possible experience, right? And so we are doing the opposite with the Full Body in 15, where we're going to take all week to teach you each of the exercises from start to finish so that you can approach this without feeling like, the person in the room who's like, what's the next move? I can't remember. And then at the end of the week, you'll be able to thread those exercises together in a 15-minute class that you can do at, anywhere you are.
Yeah.
And you'll confidently know, A, you're not going to hurt yourself. B, you got a 15-minute full body workout. That's pretty amazing. You don't need to know Pilates to do this.
No, that's great. You answered it so well. And I think you put the fear of God into people. Anyways, so I really do hope that you join us. Person asked this question because I created it for you. I created it for you. I created it for the doubters in the room. I created it for, if Chris is listening, yes, Chris, I created it for you. And
you know who you are, Chris.
He DM'd me. He's like, did you write that? Are you thinking about me when you wrote this? I'm like, yes, 100% you. 100% you. Your wife is going to sign you up. Okay.
I love that. All right. Let's talk about Jason Frizzell. Jason Frizzell is an East Coaster with a Midwestern attitude who followed his entrepreneurial fire to convert from 20 years in the sales world, in corporate sales, to being an entrepreneur, starting his own business. He is now a certified growth and leadership coach and a personal brand strategist at Brand Builders Group. As a lover of stories, he also hosts the podcast called Talking to Cool People.
Yeah, it's a cool podcast. Like, he said some great guests. It's like, lots of great people.
I mean, I love cool people. Anyway, fascinating, great interview. Just like a very amicable guy. You listen to him and you're like, I want to hang out with this guy.
I think he's the best of both of us.
He's so easygoing. Yeah.
Brad and I talked to him about strength finders, and he has similar ones to me and some ones of Brad. So he's like he's the best of us both.
I think that's awesome.
Right, just taking credit for how amazing Jason is over here. So one of the things I like that he said is it's okay to have a side hustle, and I think the word hustle gets a bad rap. And Corrine Walsh in her interview with us said, it's okay to have a hustle. It's just that you don't want your hustle to become a hassle. And that's, so I also think that like a lot of people struggle with like, well, if it's a side hustle, it's just a hobby. Well, no, it's only a hobby if you like treat it like a hobby. If you're actually treating it like it's a thing that's going to create income for you or be the job that you're going to do, or maybe it's a charity for somebody else. It just depends on your intention towards it. But please, by all means, like Profitable Pilates was a side hustle for a long time. Pilates was my side hustle. And then Profitable Pilates became the side hustle. And then OPC came the side hustle. And the only reason they could do that is because one thing became the actual full-time hustle. The next thing came in. And now I say, no, I'm not allowed to have any more side hustles.
Yeah. No new things.
But because they keep growing. But I think I just want to give full permission. It is okay for the thing to start off and be this side hustle thing for however long you need it to be. Like, let it be there.
Yeah. First off, Kareen's episode is 27. If you're interested in going back, it's a great one. Specifically, he was talking about some of his clients who have like a fancy corporate job, and it almost like starting their own entrepreneurial thing is almost looked down on. It's like, wait, how are you like the chief marketing officer, but you're like, starting a popcorn company on the side?
Wait till y'all hear one of my interviews coming up. She was that person, and I can't even wait.
Right, but so like from like the it almost seems strange where you're like, wait, what? You like have this whole thing going over here, and then you're like you're doing this thing on the side, and he basically is suggesting like, yeah, it's you absolutely, especially if you have this the entrepreneurial bug. I know, Lesley, you and I both know that really well. He said after 20 years of doing sales, he said it just wasn't sitting well with him. Something wasn't, he didn't feel fulfilled, and he like went and got counseling on it and all the things. And his conclusion at the end was, I'm an entrepreneur, not being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And that's where the side hustle thing started, even though he had a super successful sales career.
Yeah. So no matter who you are, what your title is, it's okay to start something new. Brad, what's one thing that you loved?
Oh, I really loved right out of the gate. The very first thing the two of you talked about was you are a leader, whether you realize it or not.
Oh yeah. Well, that's just like, I mean, like that's the people who like think that they don't have influence on Instagram because they don't have thousands of followers. No, if you have followers, you have influence. So you're a leader. Yeah.
Yeah. For him, he said most people assume that they're not a leader because they're not in a management role at the office, right? Where they like don't have people, quote unquote, working for them. So I must not be a leader. And he said the other thing, he said, first off, that's just not, you don't actually need to be the boss to be the leader. He didn't actually say that. I'm saying you don't have to be the boss to be the leader.
Right.
Which is kind of counterintuitive in the way that we think of corporate structure, but innately with human beings, that's like the reality. They're, like, it's just the way that things are. You don't actually have to be the person who's been, quote unquote, put in authority to have innate authority.
Yeah.
Secondly, he said, for those of you who are parents, you might be teaching them their homework, but you're actually leading your kids. You're actually, raising children is also being a leader.
Oh.
So definitely something to think about. I thought
no
that was
more
neat.
Pressure added to that. Oh my God, so much. All right. Well, I just really enjoyed our conversation. There was so many things that we talked about, and that it like had a nice winding conversation to it. So
yeah, I mean, we didn't even talk about getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
I feel like that's a constant practice. I've got to be honest. That's like, it's like if you don't use it, you lose it, because like you can like get really comfortable being uncomfortable, and then you get comfortable, and then you got to get uncomfortable again. And it's like freaking kicking and screaming. Like, it's like, you have to remember like, oh yeah, you used to be able to run, and it is sore. You're sore the first few runs out the gate, and then you get a pace and you get going, and then you can go further. And like, but like, it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's you either have to constantly stay in uncomfortability, so you never have to like ramp back up, or you're going to be like uncomfortable and then like it's a whole,
Well, I feel like it's for people who live in like quote unquote stability. Like the reason to go get a job working for someone else is because you have stability. And his whole argument was, like you were talking about Peloton in Q3 and they dropped 35% of their stock. And he said, I have to imagine the majority of the people who work there just lost 35% of their, the wealth that they've been accumulating because their stock just dropped 35%. And that's a big deal. And he said, so even though they have that corporate job, that doesn't necessarily mean they have stability, because now they went on a hiring freeze. They did all this kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh.
So it's actually a story we're telling ourselves.
100%. If anyone didn't catch that as an employee during 2020, when people went on furloughs and things, and like they came back, and nothing is certain, and nothing is actually as comfortable as you've told the story to yourself. So,
Okay. Anyway,
let's talk about beit action items.
Yeah, let's jump in. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your conversation with Jason Frizzell? And the thing that I really liked, he gave a handful actually at the end. He kind of just rattled off a whole bunch, but he threw in there, just keep showing up.
Yeah, that's you could to be it till you see it. Just keep showing up.
Yeah, and obviously, if the action that you're doing is to smack your head into the wall, I don't encourage you to continue to smack your head into the wall. But if you are trying to grow something or build something, and you see there's a hole there's a need for what it is that you're doing. Maybe nobody else is doing it. That's okay. Just keep showing up. And whether that's building, even with like building your fitness business. I know a lot of people listen to this are fitness business owners. There's clearly a whole industry there. And if you keep showing up, you will find those clients. You will grow your business. We're talking about the messy middle. We're talking about the dip, a couple episodes ago. Mm-hmm. It's like, when it gets tough is when most people abandon the thing. Oh yeah,
we were in a conversation in a car somewhere. That's what we're talking about, the dip. Like most people abandon, because unless you're going into the metaverse, which I just learned about today. Well, today is in the date, and we're recording this, so 2 weeks ago. It finally got explained to me. Unless you're like living your life there, there's every single industry has been around. And so you can actually look back and you can find out when people quit, when people stopped, when you can look at apps and see they were going their own, they quit. One of these things happening. And so then all you have to do is actually figure out, how much money do I need to get past X point? Because after X point, it's there's only this many people that I'm competing with.
You've survived past the majority of your competition.
It's podcasts. Podcasts, they say the average podcast is 7 episodes. So
seven.
So
that seems crazy to me.
If you get past episode 7 on your podcast, you're already better than average. What? And then
and it's also so much fucking work. How could you stop in 7 episodes?
I don't know, because
it's kind of incredible.
It's we're at episode 60. What?
This is gonna
74. We're doing 74 right now. 74 right now. Oh my God, we better plan our 100. And we're still working things out. There's still so much work. We're still growing. We're still new. But at the point is you can be in the top 30% of podcasts if you can just make it past 12 episodes, I think. Yeah. So just keep showing up.
Just keep showing up. Awesome. Well, hey, what about you?
Oh, well, of course. Of course, I'm obsessed with this. Block out your ideal schedule in your calendar. So obviously you can go back to profitablies.com/gemstones to hear how I do mine. But I swear he didn't know that's how I do this. But what he's saying is, even though you might not be doing the job or the business you want to be doing, whatever the thing is, you might not be doing that. Put that ideal schedule in, and then try that on. So have for him, have the coaching calls appoint in your calendar. Obviously people could book them, but have them in there. Don't just watch. Don't just go to the doctor or go to the grocery store. Actually have them in there so you can actually feel and see the schedule. Because you might think that you want to have 20 clients, he said, but maybe you don't actually know what 20 hours of clients feels like.
He said 30, and the two of you both had a laugh.
I did 30 when I was oh my God, that's so much. But I didn't have anything else to do. So thank God for that. Anyways, I really like this. I think this is one of the best ways. If you want to be it till you see it, if you actually make your schedule, even just a part of your schedule each day, look like the schedule you wish you were living currently, you are going to actually end up having that for yourself. It's really cool.
Well, I think Taylor Smith was the teacher who started
the Etsy girl.
She talked about her getting up in the morning and dedicating time to customer service. And she said, even if I don't have any customer service messages, I still sit down, I log in, I go to the thing, and I go, this is my time for customer service. And if there's no messages, she goes, that means that my product descriptions are so great that I didn't have any questions from anybody. But she's also creating a habit. She's blocking out her schedule and going, all right, from 7 till 7:15, I bang out questions on customer service, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like if you're like, gosh, I wish I could just have time to read in the morning, then put that in your schedule. And some mornings you might actually be able to read a paragraph. Like, that, no one said you had to read the whole book.
Taylor Smith's episode 61.
Yeah, we're just flying through these. Who else? Like, all right. I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Crowell.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so grateful for you. We really, really are.
Yeah.
How are you going to use these tips in your life? Let us know by sending us a DM to the pod on Instagram. Make sure you screenshot the episode, tag us, tag Jason Frizzell. I know you'll have a great laugh. Maybe you'll end up talking to him about cool people. And we'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye for now.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day.
Be It Till You See It is a production of As the Crows Fly Media.
It's written, produced, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell. Our associate producer is Amanda Frattarelli.
Kevin Perez at Disenyo handles all of our audio editing.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to our designer Jaira Mandal for creating all of our visuals, which you can't see because this is a podcast, and our digital producer Jay Perdoso for editing all the video each week so you can.
And to Angelina Herrico for transcribing each of our episodes so you can find them on our website. And finally, to Meredith Crowell for keeping us all on point and on time.